Hey guys, it's Preeti Agent here. So I thought it would be a really good idea to put a video together for everyone. As the number one question in everybody's mind right now is, when is this economy going to recover? What is happening in the real estate market? When should I make a move? So I hope to shed some light on this topic and help answer some questions that you guys may have. With that being said, I'm going to share my screen and show you guys some slides with data that we have compiled in regards to the level of activity that a real estate market is happening is seeing and is happening in the real estate market. So really quickly, let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Okay, so let's tackle the big question. When is the economy going to fully recover? Let's take a look at the first slide. This slide here is showing you impact of COVID-19 to real estate showings in the entire country. This is week over week that you're seeing here. So if you look at the yellow arrow from 112, and you guys see there's a steady increase of showings. So let me step back a little bit. So this information that you're seeing here is a data that we collect from a software that we use, which enables us to track the level of activity that we're seeing on our listings on our properties. So this is tracking the number of buyers that are coming in to see one particular property. So with that being said, this data was compiled to show that, as you can see, the level of activity was obviously high beginning of January, and then we've seen this red arrow, as you guys see, a big drop here when COVID-19 first started. So that you want to look at that arrow in the red, and obviously in the last 4 weeks, then you see this yellow arrow here again, which is showing us an increase in the level of activities from the buyer side of things that we're seeing, that there's more and more buyers out there shopping and purchasing properties, indicating that the market is picking up momentum. Let's take a look at the second slide here. This slide is basically showing home ownership rate continues to increase over time. As you can see, right around when we had the last recession, and if you follow that red arrow, we're seeing a big dip in the rate of ownership. However, beginning of 2016, all the way up to 2020, we have seen a gradual increase, which is great news, because this is what we want to see. This is what all the major institutes and economists, the big economists out there, are looking and tracking for this information. So this is the census that they have compiled and shared with us as a result of the first quarter. So this is great. You know, more and more consumers are coming into home ownership. This slide here is showing us Americans are sitting on a tremendous amount of equity. What does that mean? Meaning, when you have 60% or more of equity into your home, you can take that money out, use it, do whatever plans you have. But now consumers are very smart. They haven't done that, meaning we're not going to see as many foreclosures that we did back in the last recession in 2007, 2008. And I know a lot of consumers are out there hoping that this would happen, or projecting that this is going to happen as it did last recession. But because there's tremendous amount of equity and consumers are not using it, this is telling us that we're not going to see that kind of big crash that we saw in the last recession. Moving right along. Here, I show you some Bureau of Labor statistics for the weekly unemployment filing rate. So this filing rate is in the millions. So obviously when COVID first started, we saw that the number of filings went up to 3.3 million. And towards the end of March, it went all the way up to 6.9. And as you can see on this graph, it gradually started decreasing, which again is a good indicator that, hey, unemployment filings are decreasing and more people are going into the workforce. And now these people are employed, meaning they are a potential buyer in the makings, and more people are being employed now. Economy is picking right back up, and people, country is opening up little by little. employing more people, and economy is picking up momentum. So great news there. So I want to elaborate on something. 2007, 2008, we had a recession and a housing crisis. A recession does not mean a housing crisis. Recession, yes, we had a tad bit of, we are experiencing that recession due to COVID-19. However, a recession never equals a housing crisis. So with all the folks that are out there, I know it's all about getting a deal, making sure, we get the house that we want at the right price. COVID-19 actually slowed things down, and the buyers that were out there actually took advantage of this phase when the market slowly went down, and to get a better deal. But all in all, a recession never equals a housing crisis, and everything that I'm showing you guys is indicating that we are not actually in a housing crisis. We are experiencing a recession, but not a housing crisis. Moving right along here, this is a report from CNBC, and they're stating evidence is mounting that home buyers may be coming back to the market after the demand dropped in the past months due to coronavirus. And that is very true. We are seeing more and more buyers come into the market. Market is picking up momentum. Back in January, February, it was definitely a seller's market where we were seeing properties come on the market within 5 days go pending, over asking from anywhere from 30 to 60 grand with multiple offers, and we're talking 20 to 25, 30 offers after on a property. However, COVID-19 kind of slowed that down, but now the economy is starting to pick up to where we were, back in January, February. That is coming. That is coming. This is what CNBC is reporting as well. Let's take a look at the next fact that I have to share with you guys. This right here is an economist at Zillow stating many sellers with the flexibility to delay or temporarily remove listings have opted out to do so, perhaps waiting out the uncertainty. Makes a lot of sense. Now that more buyers are in the market, the sellers are waiting back in, joining those who had remained motivated to sell for any number of life reasons. This is what I have been indicating in my weekly market updates to all of you guys that follow me on YouTube, on my channel. You see that this is exactly what we have been talking about. So more and more sellers are coming back on the market. There were some that had opted out because of the uncertainty, but that is not holding them back anymore. So we're seeing more and more properties hit the market, and buyers are out there actively buying and trying to get a deal, which leads me right into my next slide. Here you go. New listings has increased almost by 6% week over week, and this is coming from May 12th. And the number of pending sales has increased by 7%. There is always an increase on the number of pending sales that we are seeing. If you take a look at my weekly market updates on my YouTube channel, you'll see that. I'm sharing the numbers, the data, the statistics to prove which way the economy is heading, and so are these slides. Let's take a look at the next slides. Here we have new listings taken year over year. As you can see, this the red arrow, first weeks of March, we dipped significantly all the way down to negative 40%. Now with that, if you follow that blue arrow, we are significantly going right back up again, and again indicating sellers are coming back into the market. Buyers were already out there, but more and more buyers are coming out. Again, economy is picking up momentum. By the way, this report here is compiled from Realtor.com. So with everything that I've shared, what kind of recovery are we going to see? Let's see. Let's take a look. Is it time for good news? I'm here to do exactly that. All right, here you go. You are looking at 4 major financial institutions 2020 GDP report. You can see the first quarter we had a negative 4.8%, and obviously not a great quarter too. However, here the 4 major institutes, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Wells Fargo. As you know, that Wells Fargo here projected that we're not going to pick up. They're on the negative side of the bar here. They're not expecting that recovery. However, the other three are expecting a recovery in the second half of the year, which is, you know, beginning of third quarter. We're going to start seeing that momentum. Now, let's take a look at the slide. Keep in mind, this slide here is about 4 weeks, 4 weeks, going back 4 weeks. Now, the next slide is an updated version of this slide. And note the change here. All right, note that now we have 5 major institutes on this GDP report. We added Bank of America to this chart here. Here we go. Look at that third quarter. Now, again, remember I told you to note Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo 4 weeks ago were saying, hey, we're not projecting a recovery here. And now 2 weeks ago, they updated this report to say the opposite. They are anticipating a second half recovery. So that is great news. And then obviously you guys see that we are steadily strong in the fourth quarter, going into the fourth quarter. So, you know, this right here, it's everything right here. The market is projected to come back and pick up beginning of third quarter, meaning end of June, beginning of July, we're going to see a recovery happening. Market is definitely correcting itself, my friends. All right. Here we have Morgan Stanley Chief Investment Officer, who quoted this on May 11th. We believe that the U.S. economy is set for a U-shape or even a V-shaped recovery, where the economic activity will bottom, perhaps very soon, and then recover steadily. Again, this was May 11th. The recent update that I've gotten is that we're possibly going to see a V-shaped recovery, which is great news. That means it's going to, you know, it's going to be pretty relatively quick. Now, I will be keeping you guys appraised of what is happening as things change. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so that you guys are getting the relevant information in a timely fashion, so that you guys are updated timely. Again, this is Preeti Agent, here to help answer any of your questions. Hope this information was helpful. And should you guys have any real estate related questions that I can help with, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My cell phone number is 510-517-3653. Again, 510-517-3653. In the meantime, be safe, stay healthy, have a great week ahead. Take care.